Hello, welcome along. It is episode 28 of the Wedding Help podcast. I am here today with Chloe. Now, Chloe is from True North Socials. She's a content creator. But Chloe, you are getting married now, so you're a bride to be.
I am.
Isn't that right?
Yep, June 2026 bride. Currently.
June 2026 bride. Now, we are going to do a podcast, of course, with True North Socials.
Yeah.
But do you know what? This is brilliant. I think a bride's perspective and really telling us, how you're feeling as a bride, and it can be overwhelming, isn't that right? So it's how long is your planning, or take us back when the planning process started? Or
to be honest, whenever I'm saying my vows, I'll have to dust off all the dust off of it, because I've actually been with Emmett for 10 years.
Right.
And we've been engaged for 7 years. But we have 5 kids, so we kind of prioritised family life, raising the kids, and now I just says to him when I'd see her in January, I said, right, Emmett, this wedding has to,
it's time.
Be front of the line here now. So yeah, we kind of just whirlwinded into the idea and just says, right, that's it. Wedding planning heads on now. Let's just go for it. And it was actually one of my best friends. Like, I've known her 24 years. She was actually on the Wedding Help page when she was planning her wedding. And then she was the first wedding I ever took the iPhone to and actually shot it. And then I remember her saying to me, Chloe, get onto that page. It's brilliant, because she done posts on it and seen the crack, and she said to me, Chloe, like, when you're starting the plan, like, get onto the page. So I did. So I joined the page, not even anything to do with True North Socials. I went on there first as a bride, like, for a good few weeks before I decided to go on as a supplier. And literally, it was my saving grace, because I didn't have the first notion. So, like, it's just hard to know where to start.
I think it can be so overwhelming, because do you know what? There's so much choice in a wedding, and as a bride, you have a million different things you can choose. And you can really go, I want that, I want that, I want that, and there becomes a part where you can overdo it, or that's the thing too. Like,
your head could be turned, because there's so much, like,
and you can nearly put yourself under so much pressure. I think there's that pressure because maybe in our family weddings that year, maybe in our family weddings the year before, and you're trying to maybe say, oh, I'm going to outdo that, I'm going to, and it's finding what's right, isn't it?
Yeah, because for me, it's not even like outdoing, but you do go to so many weddings, and whenever, like, I'm 30 now, so I'm kind of at that age where, like, a lot of my friends or family and stuff have had their wedding. So you kind of go and you're like, right, now I feel this pressure where I have to have it different. Not necessarily outdo anybody, but I want something different at mine that they didn't have, or that I've not seen before.
I'm a great example. I think I'm a great example of that, because, like, I'm never nearly at another family wedding, if that makes like, for example, you could have a videographer, right? And the videographer might do your sister's wedding, might do your aunt's wedding, might do your your cousin's wedding. That's grand. It's a videographer. But like something like, say, like a hypnotist show, so somebody might have a hypnotist, somebody might have a singing with her, somebody might have
live painter.
A live
I was
painter.
looking at live painters too.
Somebody might have so, like, it's that something different, something that people will go, all right, I'll talk about that's a good talking point or something.
Yeah, just something that when people come away from your day, you think, I've given somebody something that they say, oh, Chloe and Emmett's wedding was class, there was such and such at it,
Of course.
And that's why I booked Dale for mine.
And that's a terrible advertisement.
He didn't know I was plugging him there, but I did book you, because I was like, I've not been to a wedding with a hypnotist, so I was like, well, that's cool.
To be honest, like, that's a thing. Like, so I would say then, if there's somebody, like, close to you getting married, they're not going to have me because you've had me, and they're going to go, oh no, that.
Because it would feel so much like copying whenever it's someone as out there as you.
I think you can even get away with having the same bands, but I think things like that is different, and they're really individual. Like,
that's what tips it over the edge.
But take us back to the start of even planning. Like, where did you start as a bride? What would your advice be to an our bride now? Because have you really everything booked at this stage?
I'm actually, I'm quite type A bride. And any brides maybe that's watching this will know there's a big thing in the wedding community when your bride is like type A bride or type B bride, and I'm type A.
Right,
so
I haven't even heard of it.
Have you never heard of this?
This is
so type A bride is someone that's like really like to the T, has everything planned so flat out, like way in advance, right? Really has all the lists what jobs everybody's doing all. Type B is way more like go with the flow. It'll be grand, you know, maybe someone was like, weddings in 6 months, oh flip, don't have my venue or something like that. That's fine for that. That's just who they are. But I'm type A, so I'm someone that kind of likes having everything sorted. But the tip I would probably give, and it was something that I didn't do, so I'm actually telling you this because I didn't do it at the beginning. And then I was kind of shocked. Plan a budget. Set your budget.
I think that's such a big one.
Honestly, deal. Like I didn't. Me and him just thought, oh, sure, it can't be that bad. So we just started looking at everywhere, and then one price came in, and then another, and then we got the old calculator out one night when the kids went to bed, and we went, oh no, we should have had a set budget before we started.
I'm married 3 years this August, but I think there's been so much has come on. Do you know, like things have really, inflation is really.
It's
do you know
major?
Do you know whenever you hear the price now of venues and stuff, the inflation is so much from even whenever I got married 3 years ago. Like it really, you know, I'm hearing a venue, like I got married in Donegal, and I'm hearing of venues that, you know, what I thought cheapers, and it's up around them prices now, and you're going, my goodness, what's
like I'm not going to name any venues, but for a grasp of it, for other brides, like the venues I was all looking at, I mean, I had anything from the range of £5,000 to £16,000.
Aye.
That just shows you.
But that's
like that was the range of venue prices,
like, you know. Aye. It's a huge difference that, like, so it is, you know.
And that's for 80 people, you know.
Aye.
So 16,000 is a lot of money for 80 people.
It's
so, I mean, you just have to...
I think it's important, you know, that's setting a budget, you know, it's so important. And, you know, you can get the perfect day. You know, don't look at what other people's doing.
No.
You know.
You don't have to outdo anyone.
No.
You just find your perfect day at your price point that you have set, because you will always be able to make your perfect day, and that's what I've learned too.
I think there is savings to be had. And
of course, yeah.
You've got to find them wee savings and go, right, well, maybe I could have this instead of this, I could have this instead of this, and work out what's perfect for your day.
And that's it, and everyone's going to be so different as well with what, so like it's kind of called splurge and save. So like everyone's going to have a different things in their splurge category as what they do in their save category. So for me, like media team was a splurge for me, because I'm a content creator, that's all I've ever done.
You know that. You know that industry, and you probably knew how important it was. Even, I'm not being funny, you know, even for you to put out your own, you know, even for you to take that content.
Yeah, I'll be putting that on my own, because I'm just social media mad.
But that is your personality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because even as we said, like before you get on the wedding content, you'd done the sort of...
I was a motherhood influencer first.
So there you go.
Yeah, and I was always making content. I actually started out my career making money from brands actually paying me to be like to promote their products or make videos for them and stuff.
You know how important the content. So it
was always the thing for me.
Cherish that content and you're going to use it.
I'm going to utilize it.
To thing me there.
Yeah.
So you know how important it is. So that was an important.
That was a splurge for me. Yeah.
But for somebody else, you know, like I know even myself and the wife, we're not people like see anything I put on social media. It's not like literally. I just share. I share my business posts, if that makes sense. Yeah. I don't share anything that's sort of, you know, like I'm not sharing me out in the
your
garden,
life,
or I'm not sharing, you know, I'm not sharing my life as such, because I'm just not that sort of. I probably should be a bit more of that, but it's not me. But there is people then that just, you know, you enjoy and embrace that, like you know, that sort of way. You know.
And some people might be massive foodies. And like food components are a huge part of their day, and that's going to be their splurge. For me and Em, it's like, you know what? We're not too bothered. Like, we're okay with it. We want a wee bit of food, but we're all right. And then there's things that we've done, like I was speaking to you earlier about this, is like the idea of straight after the ceremony, cut your cake, serve it at your drinks reception. Like that's something that's a wee way to save money instead of maybe paying out for canapes and things like that. So there's so many things, and again, it's just couple dependent on what means a lot for you.
What is your thing, like, you know?
Yeah.
That's really good. Like, and even you're saying there about the cake and cutting the cake at that time. So, but you can actually make something out of that. You know, you can make that on a bit of an event. Whereas, you know, I'm not being funny. After dinner, everything's about all go. You know, everything's, you know, go. That's this person setting up this.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, everything's going on. So you're taking your cake cut and you're saying, well, let's do this earlier in the day.
Part of the day,
And you know, let's make a bit of a scene out of it. You know, that sort of way. Where there wouldn't have been a scene at that part of the day.
No, not usually. It would have been like, you know, and like I said earlier, like receiving line. So like we're being a wee bit different that way too. We're like, we're going to cut the cake and serve it to our guests as they come up to us to greet us. So I'm like, that's just a wee different thing. That again, it's that different component that people might go, oh, that was a really cool thing they done at their wedding, you know. And it doesn't have to be major, but it's
just, you know what? It doesn't have to be traditional. It doesn't have to be traditional. It doesn't have to be the way you see it at every other wedding. Exactly. So it's your wedding. You can do it your way.
Do it your way, exactly.
And do it what suits you best. Like, you know, to really get what you want out of your day. Like, you know, is there any what advice? You know, have you found any downfalls? Because you see a lot, and you know, on the wedding help forum, you would see brides that are a bit sort of, and we talked about this in our banter podcast. Brides sort of feel a bit down because you're not getting that sort of reaction from family.
Yeah.
And I suppose it can be overwhelming for our family because it's like, right, I've heard about it, you know, right, congratulations.
Get over it, shush. I know.
You get married. Yeah. But have you found any of that, or what's been your sort of...
I mean, I think that's always going to be the way of it. It's the same way, because like, your wedding is not going to be as important to anyone else apart from you and the partner. No. So I think if you can learn anything from it, that is the one biggest lesson to prove to you that you do not do your wedding for anyone else apart from you.
Yeah.
Because if other people aren't as excited about your wedding, well then why would you do everything to please them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do it for yourself, because you know you're going to be the most excited about it. So then have every part of your day something that you are going to look back on and say, that is class. I'm so glad we done that.
Yeah, and I'm right in saying as well, is your mum involved sort of in the wedding? You know,
my mum and my sister owned a bridal boutique for a couple of years, so that was years ago, like 2017 or something like that.
Did you find that your mum wanted to put a big say, or was that hard?
No, actually, she's pretty chill. Mum's quite good in that she lets us do our own thing. She's very good and always kind of has been like that. Of like, you know what, you just make your own decisions, make your own choices or whatever.
That's very good too.
Which is nice.
I think a lot of brides have pressure with that sort of stuff because everybody's trying to get their wee butts in and stuff, you know.
Yeah, no, she's not too bad. Oh, don't get me wrong, you know. While Monica said, you know, my wee friends have to come, and I was like, are you paying for them? And then she goes, yeah, and I said, well, they can come then. That's
you can invite as many as you want. So you can.
I said, invite as many as you want, as long as you're paying for it. There's your bill.
This is the price of the dinners.
There's your invoice. Yeah.
No, it's very true too. Like, you know, like that is all. These are all sort of pressures, isn't it? Like, you know,
big pressures. Yeah, you feel like, oh, do I have to invite that, you know, cousin's girlfriend that I've never met and things like that, and it's really hard.
I think even family sizes, you know, can be a problem because, like, you know, I think if there's like say your partner has, like, you know, more cousins than you have, or if you have more cousins than they have, you know, it can be hard.
How do you make it seem like a balance and not have one partner feeling as if I feel like I've nobody here for me? Because I'm like that, like not with family, but like Emmett has a lot more friends than I would. But again, that's the introvert side of me, like doing the social media stuff. Like I was always like with the kids, and then I was doing content and all, and I was doing stuff that was so different to other friends, and then just naturally you end up not having as many.
No, of course, and maybe you know you're sort of involved in what you're doing as such, and you're not. You know.
So I kind of said that to him. I was like, oh, I'm going to look like I've got no friends at the wedding and all. But he was like, Chloe, like it's not like that or whatever. But
no.
But again, it was just another thing that kind of crops up that you don't expect to have to think about.
How did you find that then? The sort of, you know, did you do something to work that out, or what was your?
Well, the way it just kind of went was Emmett made sure that the friends he was bringing was really close friends that he would speak to on a weekly basis, like, you know, not friends that checks in with you every 6 months. Like it was like someone that is very like active friendship in your life. And that was a good way to balance it out.
I think even whenever you get married, you know, and you know, Jimmy's going to watch us go, you never done this. So I don't know what you're on.
You're going to get bothered after.
I am. This was a terrible idea to do this. But even getting your partners sort of, you know, talking things through that, you know, like I know I wasn't really involved in the wedding planning, but having that. And I think for men, they sometimes just go, well, you plan it, do whatever you want to do. But I suppose getting that sort of thought that, you know, you're feeling involved and try and get involved and stuff as well, that it is all a team effort as such as well. Like,
because, well, Emmett's involved slightly. You could call him involved in a funny way. Like, he'll tell me, go off, Chloe, do your market research there, come back to me with a wee short list. He'll look at the short list, decide yes or no, I like that person. Go with that person. Get a price. I'll go get a price. He says yes or no. And if he says, no, too dear, He'll send me on my way, and I'll go back to square one market research again.
Yeah.
But it does work. That's a dynamic that works for us, because he can't be bothered to take because there's so much to think about. Like,
it is. It's a massive.
It's so huge, process, and I mean, if me and him hash that out every single night, there'd be 2 or 3 hour long conversations every night. So we just found that was a really handy way to work, to involve him still, that he felt like he wasn't just turning up on the day and being like, who's that person? Like, he knows. Like, if I said to him now, and you sat him down beside me and said to him, right, Emmett, name off all your vendors, he actually could do that.
That's brilliant. Because there is weddings, and do you know what, I do get booked, and do you know what, I'll never throw away a booking.
No.
But there is weddings that I land and you're a secret. Nobody knows who you are. And
pressure.
They've put down in an envelope that, if I'm getting paid, lighting technician.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
What's this about? Like, because I'm a surprise or whatever. But I think it's good to sort of, have a surprise for your guests, but, involve
the partners should be in it together, I think.
I think so in a way, that's just my personal opinion on it.
Yeah, but no, it's good. He's definitely involved in the perfect way for me, because like I say, I'm so type A. He'd get so sick of me coming to him if I had to come to him with every single wee person that I've looked at.
Yeah.
So it just works for me to bring him a short list, and then he just goes off.
I suppose what was the starting point for you? What was the sort of important things that you went, right, we need to get this started? Or you said, I need to get this sorted.
Venue.
The venue was the big one.
Venue was the first one.
The venue was the big one. And of course, you're the Beach Hill, isn't that right?
Beach Hill. Yeah.
Beach Hill.
Beach Hill. I looked at a good few, but I came full circle back around to Beach Hill again, because that was the first one I actually viewed, and then I went and viewed loads of others, and then I came back and done a second viewing at Beach Hill, and that was me hooked then.
I suppose that can be hard too as well, because there are so many lovely venues, and you can sort of, like you're saying, you went there first and then you actually came back there.
And that's one thing I would also say to couples, like, if you have in your gut that you want to see that place another time, do it, because the first time I viewed Beach Hill, it was raining, right? So we didn't see half of the place. It was like, the nice forest ceremony bit, it didn't look the same as it did when we went the second time. When we went the second time,
pictures online.
Yeah. When we went the second time, it was a day like today, it was beaming with sun. We went round all the wee paths and seen the forest in a whole different light, literally.
Yeah.
And that is what got us the venue. That's what made us think this is our venue. So, like, if you feel in your gut, there was definitely something I loved about that venue, but it looked like this, go and see it again, because you don't know what your feeling's going to be the next time you go.
Are you having your ceremony up there?
The whole thing.
Everything's up there, and I suppose the Beach Hill's very good for that too.
Yeah, because they've got the forest, and then you can also get married at the lake bit and all.
And it really works on that way, so it works well.
Exactly.
I think it's nice as well, bringing the one place, because
it is nice. It works for us with the kids and stuff to just have everybody kind of get there in the morning, get ready, instead of driving about. And then that was another save for us, transport.
So you were saving.
So there we go. That was
well.
That was one of our things we didn't really feel the need to splurge on. So we were like, if we go for the whole day, we don't need to worry about wedding cars and all. And that's nothing against anyone that wants the transport, because I still to this day look at the wee vintage cars and all. I'm like, that could be one I just sneak in there like
the
a
hotel to the marquee from the hotel.
But no, like that.
There's a good 20 foot in that, so you might
you might get a decent couple of shots there. But no, like, sometimes people need the transport, like, absolutely, like, you need it. But for us, it was like not a big deal. So we were like, okay, well, let's have the whole thing in one place. And then that's one cost that we don't need to factor in.
So venue was a starting point. I suppose then another one, if you're having your ceremony at the venue, your celebrant, was that what did you?
Celebrant, yeah.
We straight on that at the
not straight away, actually. I'm trying to think what the second thing was we had done. Actually, I think I done venue and then like decor and flowers.
Right.
Just because I really wanted to make sure that I got somebody that just kitted that place out real, just because I know the capabilities of that forest and stuff. So I was like, I need to make sure I get my florist and decor.
So that was your sort of next thing. And then you were saying then the videographer and the video media part,
photographer,
was a big part of your day.
Do you know what? I'm not even lying. One of the first vendors I got and booked was my content creator.
My goodness, right?
I swear. And I think just because I know it so well, and I was like, that's a big priority for me as my content creator. So I went.
As your content creator, that must be the most pressure. Like,
Deal.
you know,
You took the words out of my mouth.
They must be thinking to themselves, "Oh no, what am I coming up against here?" Like, you know, because it's such a, you know, whenever you're doing something yourself.
Yeah, I know,
and
it was really hard.
That,
I felt bad for them, but then because I didn't want them to feel pressured.
Aye.
But at the same time, I like, as a content creator myself, and I've done it for so long, I was like, I know what way I like wee things shot. So I was like going through everyone's page, and I was like, I can't pick. This is too hard, like too difficult. And it took me ages. I think it took me 2 weeks to really knuckle down and decide who it is. But again, it was wedding help supplier. So,
but I suppose, you know, for for you organising that wedding as well, you know, if you go onto somebody's website or you go on their social media, you know, if they're worth their tuppence. You know, their social media. No, and I'm not saying I'm any social media guru, like, you know, or my content's any, but they should have content that you go, right, they seem to be busy at weddings.
Yeah.
And, you know, there should be things that scream out to you, that seems to work well, and that, you know, they seem to know what they're doing. Like, you know, I'm sure whenever you were going through that process, you were looking on their socials, you were looking on their websites, you'd sort of seen that works for you, isn't that right? Like,
yeah,
you know?
Because I don't know if it is just maybe my background as well with doing like the social media management and stuff, but for me, not one of the vendors I've booked yet have I not seen their work. Like, I have, because it's just very me. Like, I need to feel like I kind of know that person and the vibe of that person coming to my day. Especially the media team, because they're going to be by my side all day. So.
Yeah. You can go on the website, you can see everybody's work. You can really go through it. You can see their videos, you can see what they're producing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that for any bride or any couple, you know, go and do that. Like, do you know what I mean? It's there for the taking.
Yeah.
You know, don't be thinking, oh well, do you know what? And I suppose don't think about budget and that. Go and work it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, do your research. You know, you said
do the short list.
And you know what? You said you were researching everything. You were getting all the information, and you were seeing if it worked for you. Like, you know,
because like realistically, my shortlist was never anybody. Like, my shortlist, I seen them as win-wins, right? So I knew that if I got a shortlist of 3-4, someone out of that 3 or 4 was going to be in the budget, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't put anybody on my shortlist that I wouldn't be over the moon with if they were part of my day. And I had to, that because imagine if I got my hopes up on a vendor, took it to Emma, and Emma was like, oh, no, not my vibe. Well, then I was back to square one on something I got my hopes up about. So I made sure that my shortlist was anyone I would have loved. Right? It's kind of like what you do with kids. It's like, give them 2 options, but both options end the same way. It's like, that was like what it was with them. Like, I knew I'd be happy with any of them.
I remember even whenever we had the photographer at our, you know, it was a photographer at the wedding. We went and seen 3 or 4 photographers.
Yeah.
And we bought on day one. But like, I remember Jamie saying, you know, we were going for an appointment. She thought this was going to be the one. She goes, oh, well, disappointed about that. Yeah. You know, and
she just didn't feel aligned with them, or
no, she didn't feel aligned with them. Yeah. Like, you know, to be honest, I wasn't that. You know, I wasn't that. You know, I knew the person, I knew everybody, so it didn't really. It was what she felt important was there, but she didn't align, and that is important. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's important to get that connection with them. Like, you know, so take us through what the rest of the day. Then, what was your thoughts and stuff?
Entertainment was a big thing for us. It's something I do. I just tried to think of my wedding as, and I don't mean it in a way of trying to please everyone, but I thought to myself, what are the parts of a wedding that when I've been at, I still think about?
Yeah.
Right? And that's where I think you splurge on or you think about, right? So I'm sorry, but like, not one wedding could I tell you what the wee favour was that was sat in front of my name. Like, I can't even.
Do you know what? You could spend hundreds of pounds.
Hundreds. And imagine. And like, you could binge or something that night or left behind, you know?
You know, it's not really cared about too much. Yeah. You know, like I always say, like even like a photo booth and stuff. Photo booth can be brilliant because you get to make personalised cards. If you take them home, brilliant.
Yeah.
You have a keepsake.
It's kind of like a wee favour, just at a different time.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, think about all that stuff, because you don't need to be traditional. You don't need to, you know, like have like a wee bag in the table. It's, you know, think about maybe you could spend that money elsewhere, or you could do something else with it.
And something I've seen people do, I don't think I'm going to do it, but it could be a good option as like a favour, is people actually have started now to write personalised notes to every guest.
Very good.
And that's something they'll keep forever, like lovely wee words that they've individually written to that person. That could be really nice for like an intimate wedding where like the people at your day is so close to you.
I think that's something as well you're going to take, you know, because if your name's on it, it's not like the person next to you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, you know,
you've got a completely different paragraph than the person sat beside you, and I think that's lovely.
You're going to put it away and you're going to take it with you, you know.
Yeah.
Was there anything else then? Was honeymoons or anything? Is that part of something you just thought about?
We have actually thought about honeymoons. We just haven't booked it yet. But it's difficult too, and other brides that are maybe in my position, if they've got kids, it's very hard to think about a honeymoon because you have to think about, am I okay leaving the kids? Like, who will I leave them with? There's so many other factors with a honeymoon when you are a bride with children. Because I have to be like finding somebody for certain dates and willing to look after them all for a certain amount of time. Like, I'm not going to get that week away, you know, that everybody else might get. I'm going to maybe take a few days. But we're going to do a family moon instead.
Yeah.
So we might do like Disneyland Paris with the kids or something and involve them because they're so excited about the wedding.
Yeah.
Because they're at an age, and it's a big reason why the wedding was happening too, but they were at an age where they were saying, Mummy, why are you Chloe Stewart and we're all Blaney?
And
I was like, every time they said it, was like a dagger to the heart. And I was like, they are wanting this day.
Yeah.
You know, like me and him would have nipped off to Spain probably and eloped all right. But they would love that core memory of the big day. I think that's
a great thing too as well. And, you know, it's a great thing that they can be all probably have their wee involvement.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly. Because I have 2 boys and 3 girls. So, like, 3 girls will all be wee flower girls and the boys in their wee suits like their daddy. And I just think it'll be lovely to involve them. But again, that was just our wee different thing we've planned, which is like a family moon instead.
Yeah.
That was our way of kind of making it work.
To do that.
It's crazy.
So there we go. So that's Chloe. Chloe, best luck with your day. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
We know it's going to be amazing. So it is. And I think as well, if brides do have any questions to see this, drop a wee message under the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, if you have any information or if you want help, don't be scared to ask. You know 100%. What I mean? Like,
I'm as I say, like as much as I'm a vendor, I'm in my own bride era and bridal mode. So I'm happy to chat weddings with anybody that will listen because it might help them a wee bit. He'll have to listen to me for a night.
Exactly. So there we go. I think we've covered loads.
Perfect.
That is episode 28. It's a Wedding Help podcast. My name is Badil. Chloe, the bride, has been my guest. Thank you so much.
Bye.